Hello everyone, welcome back to the Wisconsin Greg Show. It's a little while after Christmas, a few days, and I had ham for Christmas, and I got a ham bone. I stuck it in the freezer until today, so I'm going to make a ham bone soup. I don't know why, I just want to keep saying ham bone, ham bone, ham bone. I think that's kind of funny. But anyways, we're going to have some ham bone soup. And I'm just going to show you how I'm making mine. I'm not saying it's the right way, the wrong way. I don't think there is a right way or a wrong way. It's totally up to however you want to make your soup. You can put different stuff in your soup. You can do it in different order. You can cut your stuff differently than I do. Everybody does it different. So let's get started. Okay, I got the Christmas ham bone out of the freezer. I'm going to put her in an 8-quart pot, and I had it in wrapped up, sealed up here real tight, and I'm going to put in some chicken broth. You wouldn't really have to use chicken broth, it just gives it a little bit more flavor, but then I'm going to add water with it also. You could just use plain water and then season it up, would be fine. Just trying to get a little bit more flavor in there. This is a 48-ounce thing of chicken broth. It's low sodium. Doesn't matter. I just bought whatever's cheaper. I figured low sodium's okay because the ham's got plenty enough salt in it. But we will probably add a little bit of salt later on. So I'm going to add some water now. Not measuring out anything here. This will all depend on your size of your ham bone. I'm just going to get it right up to almost the top of the ham bone there. Probably put just a little bit more so it comes right up to the peak. Probably go about a half an inch above the ham, maybe an inch. Put just a little bit more in there. There we go, that's about an inch, half an inch to an inch above the ham bone. That'll give it a little room for evaporation also, and then later, I'm not sure when, it all depends, because this is froze, it's going to take a while to come undone. I'm going to turn this on right now. Turn my stove on. I'm going to turn it on high right now and try to get that ham bone unthawed because it's froze. Been frozen since Christmas. And as soon as the water starts getting a little bubbly, I'll turn her down to between medium and low. And I'm just going to let her simmer for quite a long time. It's about 10 to 11 right now in the morning. So I'll let you know how long it's been when I come back and we start up, and then we'll start adding the ingredients. Okay, it's been about 2.5 hours and ham bone's starting to all fall apart. I'm going to take the ham bone out of there, put it on a paper plate and let it cool down a little bit, and then I'm going to dig through it and take any meat that's left on there out and take it off of the bone and separate it from the fat and the gristle and all that. And then meat I'll throw back into the soup. There won't be much meat on here, so I did save some from Christmas and I sealed it and froze it. And I also have some from the grocery store, some ham cubes. I'm going to add some of them too also later. But I am not going to waste any of the meat on here. I don't think there will be much, but if there is any, I'm going to get that off the bone. So I'm going to take that out of here. It's really falling apart. Smells wonderful. Won't fill no bones in there or nothing, but I'm gonna take a strainer like this and I'm gonna run it through the strainer and then dump the stock back into the pot again, and then we'll get started adding our ingredients, and I'll have to put some more water in there with it, and we'll get started. So I'll be right back with you in just a little bit once I get that strained out. Okay, I got her all strained and add a little bit more water to it. I'll add some more water to it later to top it off once I get everything else in there. Just gonna season up the broth a little bit now. Put some pepper in there. I like pepper, and if you don't like pepper, you don't have to put pepper in. It's all up to you. I'm gonna put a little bit of salt in there to bring the flavor out of the vegetables. Not much, but a little bit. Gonna put a little bit of Italian seasoning in there. And I'm gonna put a little bit of parsley flakes in there. You can use any kind of seasoning you want. This is just what I kind of like. And I'm gonna throw my carrots in there. There's some carrot sticks left over from Christmas that were in sealed up in the sealer. So I don't like to let anything go to waste. And then I'm gonna get the potatoes. I'll be right back here and dump them in there. And the potatoes I've had sitting in cold water for a little bit, and I'm gonna dump them in here. This is just one big baked potato right there. It's a lot of, that was a big potato. You can use whatever amount you want. If you like onions or more potatoes more than carrots, or carrots more than potatoes, put more of that, whatever you like in there. I just do whatever I have left over and try to prevent from wasting stuff by using making soup. So I'm gonna go work on that ham bone and get the meat off of there, and then we'll come back here and finish adding some more stuff to it. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. I just rinsed off a can of Great Northern beans. Some people would put these in later. I like mine in earlier so they get really mushy and kind of explode and stuff. I like them soft. So I'm gonna put these in there now. I'm gonna dump in some chopped celery at the same time right after the beans here. I had a lot of that left over, so I'm going to use that up. I like celery in my soup. I had it in, what do they call it, a seal-a-meal bag, so the stuff lasts pretty long when you put it in that stuff. I'm going to get my ham over here and dump that in right now. There was very little left on the bone. Some of it is frozen there that I froze from Christmas just for the soup. Some of it is cubed stuff from the grocery store. So it's just a variety of ham I had laying around here. Gonna use it up. Give it a stir here. Got another can of beans if I need it. Let's see what it looks like after a little bit here. I might add that in a little bit. Might be okay. Smelling pretty good, I can tell you that. I almost forgot the bay leaves. Give them a little bit of a stir up here, and we'll get them out of there later. All right, I decided to add another can of beans. These are baby butter beans. Like to have a different variety of beans in my soup. Give that a little bit of a stir. Might just add a little bit of water. I got just a couple more things to add in there at the very end. And I'll be back with you in a little shortly. Okay, it's been 4 hours since I started. I'm going to add in probably about a half a cup to a third of a cup of really fine chopped onions. I'm going to put in probably about a half a teaspoon of minced garlic. I got to be careful. I always overdo it with the minced garlic, and sometimes I ruin stuff. So put that in there. And one last thing here. Dump in some cabbage, chopped up cabbage. And that's going to be about it until the very end when we'll do the final salting and maybe a little bit of pepper and salt it and season it to taste. And then we should have some ham bone soup. Ham bone soup. Ham bone soup that's made for a king. Yeah. And it won't take that long for those onions and because they're so small and this cabbage to cook down, and before you know it, when I come back here, I'll probably be eating some soup. So I'll be right back with you. It's been 4 hours now since I started, so I'll let you know how long this takes until this cabbage gets done, and then we'll be right back with you. Okay, there's one more step I wanted to show you before I start eating it here. I'm going to take a little scoop out of here, just a random scoop. Probably maybe a couple scoops here. Make sure you got a little bit of everything in there. And I put it in a little mixer, and then I add it back into the soup again, and that enhances the flavor. Now if you want your soup to be clear, then don't do this. But if you want it to be more flavorful, then I would recommend doing this. That's good enough. Now you can see that. I'm just going to add that in there and stir that around, and that'll enhance the flavor even more. I did have to add quite a bit more salt to it to get it to taste. The vegetables sucked up a lot of the salt, which I figured it would do, but you always taste it before you serve it and add as needed. I did add a little bit of pepper too, but mostly salt. All right, I'm gonna get some in a bowl here and I'll be right back with you. Oh yeah, look at that soup. Ham bone soup. Ham bone, ham bone, ham bone. Ham bone soup fit for a king. Won't that look good? I'll turn this camera around here and I'll show you we'll see how it tastes. It's very, very hot. Yeah. Excellent. You might have wondered why I made so much. I'm gonna freeze it. I've done this before, not with this type of soup, but with other soups I freeze. And then I take out, I don't know how big it is, it's probably a quart and a half, something like that. It's pretty big. You can either let them thaw out in the refrigerator, or you can put them right into a slow cooker. let it thaw a little bit so you can get it out into the slow cooker and just let it cook for a few hours, and you got soup for the day. And kind of nice to have, especially here in Wisconsin. We got a big snowstorm coming tonight. I think they said 3 to 6 inches possibly. You never know if you can't get to a grocery store or something. So you've got food lined up for you, so it's a good thing to do. So go make yourself some ham bone soup. Don't be afraid to cook. If I can cook, anybody can cook. And there's no strict rules. If you want to add corn, go ahead and add corn. You want to add black beans, go ahead black beans. I got some noodles, I was going to add them. But then I was reading and it says for freezing it's best not to have noodles or dairy products in there. So I left the noodles out, and it's good enough the way it is. If I do cook it in a slow cooker, the ones I take out of the freezer, I could add a few noodles then. So we'll see. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this little cooking video. I haven't done a cooking video for quite a while, and we'll catch you on the next Wisconsin Greg Show. Take care now. Bye everybody.